I'm Elizabeth with Yogarific, and this is a partnership with Wabano Center for Aboriginal Health. Our yoga practice today will be themed on honesty. Being honest with yourself, being honest with others, allowing yourself to be honest in your practice and in your life. And so in today's practice, I encourage you to find yourself asking yourself continuously, is this good for me? Is this pose right for me? And listen to your answer. Allow yourself to answer truthfully. Know that you can modify your practice in any way to make it work for you today. We'll begin lying down on the abdomen in alligator pose, with the abdomen down on the mat, the palms or the forearms stacked, and the forehead resting down towards the earth. Close the eyes. Allow your abdomen to press down against the floor. Allow yourself to feel the breath moving in and out through the nose as you allow yourself to arrive onto your mat. Feel the points of contact between you and the earth, and begin to feel the pressure with each inhale, the pressure between your abdomen and chest, between you and the floor. And the exhale, that release of pressure, that release of contact. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the nose. Beginning to inhale a little bit deeper and exhale a little bit more completely. Taking the time to inhale, fill the lungs in every single direction. And the exhales, breathe the breath out completely. Take a few more moments here, simply to observe and be. Gently, as you feel ready, keep the head in this neutral position with the forehead pointing down towards the floor. The tip of the nose might slide down to the floor. As you slide the hands out from underneath you, take your time to slide the hands on either side of the ribs, beginning to prepare for cobra position. So we'll slide the hands so they're on either side of the ribs, elbows pointing towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, slowly lift the chest up off the mat. And as you exhale, bring the chest back down. Inhale, lifting up at your own pace. Exhale, peel the chest back down. Try to keep the tops of the feet down to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest up. It doesn't matter how high you move. Exhale, bring it down. Just a couple more times. Inhale, lift the heart. You can use the hands a little. Exhale, release. Good work. Last one. As you inhale, lift the chest up. And this time at the top, pause into the pose, but keep breathing. It's okay if you lower down slightly. Holding the pose a little bit longer is sometimes a little bit more challenging. And notice your breathing. Still great big inhales and great big exhales. One last breath here, and you might feel yourself rise up. Exhale, we'll peel it all the way down, belly, chest, and tip of your nose down to the mat. Keep your hands where they are, and as you inhale, press yourself up into a table position so you can press your knees into the mat. Pressing yourself up into table, and we'll take a little tiny break. Reach the hips back towards the heels in child's pose. Your knees can be wide or together so that the belly is either resting between or on the thighs. And the forehead might be quite close or far from the floor. As you pause here, notice how the abdomen expands against the thighs. Feel your breath not only in your lungs, but feel that ripple effect as it affects the entire body. On the inhale, we'll allow ourselves to rise up, back through to a table position, coming back through to all fours. The wrists will rest underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. Take a moment to make the spine long. And as you inhale, stretch the right leg back behind you and see if you can lift the right leg up. It doesn't matter how high that right leg moves. If the balance is good, once the right leg is up, you may reach the left arm towards the front of the room, but it's not an obligation, so you try what works for you. It's also very okay to fall out of the pose. Be honest with your body. Be honest with your breath. Is this right for you? Can you be here and find joy? Recognize that you may wish to stay here exactly as you are, or for an added bit of challenge, reach the right leg out towards the right side. Reach the left arm out towards the left side. Shaking is okay. One more big breath here. And on the inhale, we'll bring it back to center. Exhale, hand and knee returns to the mat. Table pose. Still with your tall spine, we'll stretch the left leg out. As you bring the left leg out, it can stay close to the floor. You can rise it up to about hip height. As you find your balance, you might reach the right arm forward. Left leg and right arm are reaching away from each other. Spine is long. And if you feel like your abdomen begins to sag, just engage lightly more through the core to feel that strong supported back. Be honest with yourself. Is this pose right for you? A yoga posture should never hurt. It can be challenging, but not painful. Know that you can stay here. You can reach the right arm out to the right side, left leg out towards the left side. It's an option, not an obligation. One more great big breath here. And on your inhale, we'll bring it back through to center so that you can exhale hands and knees back down towards the mat. Take an in breath here and a full out breath. We're going to be coming up to standing. If you have a favorite way that you like to come up to standing, know that you can now. Otherwise, you may tuck the toes, reach the hips up towards the sky, and start to walk the feet forward. Lengthen the spine, deeper into the fold, you've got it. We'll inhale, reach the arms out, lengthen up, rise up towards the sky. Exhale, relax the hands all the way down to either side of the body. We'll stand in Tadasana, feet parallel, toes pointing forward, feet about hip-width distance apart, and relax the arms down by your side. The eyes can be opened or closed. Take an opportunity to stand tall. An honest person is a giant in their community. Allow yourself to embody this giant. Allow yourself to be tall, to take up your space, but allowing yourself to also be honest as we flow through our practice today. Recognize when poses aren't for you. Know that you can back out at any time. Don't try to be something that you're not. Be authentically you. From here, we'll open the eyes. It's easier for balance. We'll bring the hands towards the hips or waist, and we'll transfer the weight into the right foot. Step the left foot back into a lunge. Right foot stays forward, left foot steps back. You can keep the hands at the hips. It might be easier to let the hands rest down at the knee, or perhaps you'd like to rise the arms up towards the ceiling. Take the opportunity just to make sure that the right knee is over the right ankle and that your breath is long. Take a pause as you hold this pose. Ask yourself, is this pose right for you? Should you change anything about it? If anything, make sure that your breath is longer. Nice and steady still. It might be lots of little steps or one big step. As you inhale, step forward. We'll come back to standing at the front of your mat. Relax the arms down, back to Tadasana. Good. Hands can come back to the waist. We'll transfer the weight into the left foot. Step the right foot back. Front knee is bent, back leg is long. Hands can be on the waist, hands can stay on the knee. Feel free to rise the arms up towards the sky. Take your time here to ease into the pose. Be honest with yourself. Would you like another challenge? You might close the eyes. If you close the eyes, it gives you an opportunity to challenge the balance, to challenge your pose. As you pause here, know that you can ask yourself, is this pose right for you? If there's nothing to change, just make the breath a little bit longer. One more full and honest breath here. And when you're ready to inhale, you can step forward, maybe lots of little steps or one big step back to Tadasana. The right foot will stay at the front of your mat, and we'll step the left foot back for side angle pose. Left foot will step nice and far, and your belly button will point towards the side. Arms reach up to shoulder height. Bend into your front knee. So the right toes are pointing forward, left toes pointing out towards the side. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, right elbow comes down on this shelf that you've created on your right thigh. Left hand can stay to your waist. Left arm can reach up towards the ceiling, or left arm can reach towards the front of your space. That right elbow can stay on this shelf that you've created, but feel free to challenge yourself. Be honest with yourself if the challenge is appropriate. You might reach the right fingertips a little bit closer to the floor. Feel free to look up or down. Feel free to close the eyes if the balance is quite good. Good work. On the inhale, we'll bring the spine back up, straighten out through the legs. And as we exhale, we'll come back to Tadasana at the front of your mat. It can be lots of little steps or one big step. Other side. Left foot stays at the front of your mat. Right foot steps back. As you spread out the feet, bend into the front knee. Arms can reach up towards the ceiling. Left toes are pointing forward. Right toes pointing towards the side slightly. And we'll bring the left elbow down towards this shelf that you've created on the left thigh. Right hand can stay on the hip. Right hand can reach up towards the ceiling. Or you might reach your right fingertips towards the front of your space. Feel free to look up or down. Try to point your belly button and your chest towards the side. And breathe deeply. honest with yourself means that you listen carefully to what your body is telling you. You listen carefully to what your breath is telling you. And in this honesty, you might be able to better hear the truth. So allow yourself to hear that honest truth, how you feel, how you breathe. Nice and strong through the legs. We'll lengthen the legs and inhale, come all the way back up. Look towards the front of your space, lots of little steps or one big step to come forward. From here, we're going to move into a few balancing poses. It's a little bit harder to balance, to be honest with ourselves in balancing poses, or perhaps it's easier. We'll start with the hands at the hips for a moment. Transfer the weight into the right foot. Step the left foot back and stay on the tips of your toes. Now you might stay on the tips of your toes the entire time because it's nice and steady here. From here, we'll bring the arms out. So first option, easier option, and Denise will show us, will be allowing for the chest to move open into angel pose. Now you can stay here, or you might start to lift that back left foot off the mat. In this pose, you might take your time. If it's available, hinge at the hips. So if you're in angel pose, stay up. If you're moving towards warrior 3, start to tilt forward, a little bit like that teeter-totter. You can be at a 45-degree angle like me, perhaps a little bit more horizontal, like Nathaniel, and feeling steady on that standing right leg. Again, be honest with yourself. Sometimes in balancing poses, we start to hold the breath, thinking that it's going to help us hold the pose a little bit longer. On the inhale, we'll bring ourselves all the way up. Exhale, back to Tadasana. Feel free to start with the hands at the waist. It's sometimes a little bit easier to find your balance. Weight into the left foot, step the right foot back. We'll keep the tips of the toes on the floor. Feel free here to start opening the chest, and we'll slide the arms out to either side, palms facing forward, chest opens up. Take an inhale, grow long. You might stay here. You might try to lift the right toes off the mat. You don't have to. There are no obligations. Create length. As an option, you might start hinging forward. If you're in angel pose, stay in angel pose. If you're moving to warrior 3, then start to tilt forward. You might be at that 45-degree angle. You might be a little bit more horizontal. But wherever you are, let yourself authentically be you. Take a few more of those deep breaths. If you forget to breathe, come back to it. On the inhale, we'll slowly bring ourselves up. Feet come down to the floor, hands rest down by your side. Shift the weight into the right foot, another balancing pose. Weight into the right foot, step the left foot out to the left side. Yeah. Now your toes can stay on the floor. We'll rise the arms up like you're making a 5-point star. Take up some space, and then from here, you can stay exactly as you are, or try to lift the left toes off the mat. You don't have to. And if you do, you can start to tilt over a little bit like a flying star as you allow yourself to tilt over. If you end up falling, maybe now you're a falling star. Give yourself that nice length. One more big breath here. It's okay to shake. And on your inhale, come back up. Exhale, both feet down on the ground, both hands by your side. Weight into the left foot. Right foot comes out. That right toe can stay down on the floor. We'll rise the arms up to about that shoulder or a little higher, 5-point star. Strong through your left standing leg. Now you can keep the toe on the floor, or you might lift the right toes up. Maybe you're staying here. Maybe you start to tilt over a little bit more, a little bit like a flying star. Take that opportunity to be where you need to be. It's easier to balance if you look at one thing that's not moving. Remember, keep breathing. Sometimes when we balance, we hold the breath. And we'll inhale, bring it all the way back up. Exhale, back to Tadasana. Feet are nice and grounded. Inhale, reach the arms up, take up some space, grow tall. It's so much easier to balance when both feet are on the ground, and as you exhale, fold. On the inhale, we'll lengthen about halfway. And as you exhale, hands come down towards the floor. Bend the knees as much as you need to get there. And we'll step the feet back, coming into a table pose at first. And from our table pose, we'll come to sit. So you can swing your legs off to one side or the other, or you might be able to cross the shins and come to sit. As you sit, we'll stretch the legs out. We'll keep the right leg long and bend into the left knee. Press your left foot into your inner right thigh. If you need to, you can use your yoga block underneath the left thigh for a little bit of support so that there's no pain in that knee. Good. We'll point the belly button towards the front, towards the right toes. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Try to touch either the knee, the shin, the ankle. Maybe wrap your hands around the toes. But relax here. Try to grow length in your spine. Open the chest. And then be honest with yourself. Is this variation right for you? In that honesty, you might realize that you have to walk yourself up a little higher. Or in that honesty, you might realize that there's space to move a little lower. Good. Let's keep the hands low. As you inhale, walk yourself back up. And as you exhale, stretch the legs out. We'll switch sides. Bend into the right knee. Sole of the right foot comes onto the inner left thigh. Feel free to use your yoga block if you'd like. From here, inhale, arms up long through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Take hold of whatever you can. It's not a competition. It's not a competition with me, with your neighbors, not with yourself. Be honest with how your body is feeling today. And let yourself be in the version of the pose that is appropriate today. Keep your hands low on the ground or your leg. Inhale, walk yourself back up, lengthen the spine. We'll stretch both legs out. You can move your stuff out of the way. Scooch forward on your mat. Make sure that you'll have plenty of room to come down, and then help yourself down. You might keep the knees bent so that once the spine comes down, you have the option of keeping the knees bent in Ardha Shavasana. Arms relax out by your side. You might take this opportunity maybe to lengthen the legs forward if that's your preference. Wherever you are, try to relax as effortlessly as you can. Close the eyes, soften the body. Begin to awaken the body. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, the arms and hands, the feet and legs. Take this opportunity to bend your knees, to awaken yourself, and to roll off to your right side into a fetal position. Press the hands down into the floor and help yourself up. Coming back to a seated position. Close the eyes for one more moment and give yourself thanks for having been honest with you. Feel free to bring the palms towards the heart. Curl the lips into a delicate smile and allow for the eyes to open. Namaste.